I will share,
There's
Prabhuji.
only
Just
one page you may have to share, and then the new thing you have to take over. Because
Yes,
it's
Prabhuji.
200 pages
Just
coming up.
contact. I'll share, Prabhuji. Just a moment. Let me know once it is visible, Prabhuji.
It is. Just zoom it, please. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, you can start now.
I think we need to start from 3 months later, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes, yes. That's the one that. That's the one. This Kumar Prabhu asked. So classes after 3 months. Who wants to start reading? It's on the screen now.
I can start.
Yeah, okay. Yes, Rakesh. Please.
Hare Krishna. 3 months later in Los Angeles, where I was recovering from my jaundice, Prabhupada told Brijratan Mohata, our good friend from Bombay, and his wife R.D. Birla's daughter, Ashok's mother came to see me in Bombay. Yes, very nice lady. She has arranged for 2 or 3 of your programs in her school, Mr. Mohata reported. We showed the series of slides of Prahlada Maharaja. I had it. The children enjoyed it very much. We also held a Janmashtami program at the school. We were always ready to encourage both her and her students, and she did everything she could to encourage the spread of Krishna consciousness.
Okay, so now it looks like this Mohta and his wife, who is R.D. Birla's daughter, they went to Los Angeles. There Prabhupada was. And Giriraj Maharaj also seems to have been in Los Angeles when he was sick. So they were recovering from jaundice. It's a short connection that Maharaj is giving here, because the previous thing where we stopped, but Birla's, how the Prabhupada was wanting to see them, but they were not coming. Then finally, the mother, Gopi Kumari Birla came, and Prabhupada is very appreciative of her knowledge of Bhagavatam and Sanskrit. And that's the same thing that he's connecting here, speaking to Mata. So, in other words, Prabhupada is actually, they both are the same family, just connected through relations. So, he's just talking about them nicely. So, he's very sensitive about that as well. When you talk some good words about your relations, they naturally become more pleased. So let's read further before leaving the spot for today.
Before leaving Daskote for Juhu, Prabhupada asked everyone from Seth Bogilal's domestic staff who had been serving him to come to his darshan room. He gave each of them some dakshina, a monetary gift in appreciation for their service during his stay.
This is amazing. Huh? Prabhupada is so sensitive. When he went to the domestic staff, he was giving some dakshina. If we can understand one thing, that Prabhupada knows the mindset of all classes of people. It's not just, one class, let's say middle class or lower middle class or whatever you want to call it. He knows pretty much how you will see just a little bit ahead now, next few words you will see that Prabhupada will say very different perception of those who are living in a luxurious lifestyle, especially with business people, business magnates. So it's a nice point. Please continue.
I was surprised. I hadn't expected Prabhupada to give Krishna's money away like that. Then I realized how much I had to learn about real culture, traditional Indian culture, and about Krishna consciousness.
Nice, no? Because normally in Western parlance, you will see this as some kind of a bribe or tips, for example, right? But Prabhupada is giving it out of love. It is something which in our tradition, even in during Makar Sankranti and South during Pongal, the servants are given saris, dhotis, etc. as gifts. In village and it's very common. Even in some of the traditional families, it is quite common. Um, so that is just a token of appreciation for their service. It's beyond the salary and other things which we normally give. Normally, in the Western world, it's all about just a salary or whatever you give, that should suffice them. So Maharaj is, even this minute things that Maharaj is remembering and sharing, that's very important, nice point. These small things is what really inspires us, like Prabhupada's action. While he's speaking in terms of so many things about from his transcendental knowledge of Krishna consciousness, small things like watching somebody fit in the toilet paper and say this is Krishna consciousness, or someone doing like this, in the Prabhupada doing Lakshmi. So it's very interesting. Yes, Prabhu, Gaurav Prabhu.
Prabhu, I just wanted to share something. I mean, these small things actually they help us very much. I mean, these things stick to our mind, and whenever the situation is there, next time for us also we are kind of that sensitive. So I remember one very little thing we read in this book. I mean, His Holiness Girinath Maharaj. I mean, when dealing with one of the businessmen, he said, I mean, since everybody is concerned about themselves, we are really concerned about you, right? So when I was distributing books, so there was one couple actually who actually were saying, okay, we will not, I mean, buy the book. And then I said the same line to them. Then they agreed, okay, we will take. So I mean, I thanked Maharaj for I said, just repeating your line. I mean, this couple took the book. So these things actually help, Prabhuji. These small things.
Very good. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, so we'll read further.
Later, Prabhupada wrote me, Bogilal Patel is a perfect gentleman. He has got money and also heart. His son is also good. And in a conversation in Los Angeles the following year, he appreciated the rationale and culture behind Seth Bogilal's opulent lifestyle.
So, Bogilal Patel is who?
Srila Prabhupada stayed in his house, Prabhuji.
Exactly. That's what happened. Okay. And Mata is a very good friend. And he and Mata and the Birla families are related through marriage. Okay, let's see it further. Now, Prabhupada is going to speak a very interesting point here.
When Tamal Krishna remarked that Bogilal had 23 cars just for him and his son and his son's wife, Prabhupada explained, yes, they are spending money to save income tax.
Very interesting.
Yeah, they have got enough income. So instead of giving to the income tax, they are thinking, why not provide some drivers, some servants, and repair the house every year? In this way, they spend money. It is a good policy. Money is distributed to the poor instead of going to the government's pocket.
See, a very interesting way of thinking, because they have so much money, even the Ambanis and others, how much they will be also, they are employing so many people for that Antilia, for every single thing they have so many servants. One may think that, what is this? You are just lavishly spending this money. But for them, they don't have anything to do with that money. So at least let people Plus some drivers will be there. I mean, they will have 23 cars. 23 cars means definitely they need 23 drivers for sure. And they are not going to go in the in the same car, in all the cars at the same time. So except for 1 or 2 cars, other drivers will be enjoying their life. But then they will be getting the income because they are employed as drivers. So I think if you have to be a driver, you should be a driver in this Prabhupada Patel's house. Do not have any job and you will enjoy the Lakshmi actually. All 3 times food and everything. You just have to stay in the whatever room that is given to you in the huge bungalow palace. And then we enjoy opulence even more than what you will normally see in others. And sometimes Krishna gives money to these people because they have the intelligence to spend also to give to people. You don't see so much in the other worlds, but in India, those who are wealthy, by and large, they are devotees. They are God-fearing people at least. At least faith is there. So they have these intelligent ways of giving Lakshmi. Like, say, for example, this Sridhar Vembu, you must be knowing, Zoho company's CEO. He started his company in the US, but he came to the back to his hometown, and he stays near a village, in a village actually. He has one small little hut or whatever. It's all traditional way. Just that Wi-Fi connection is there, and he works from there. He goes in the morning, does agriculture, field work, everything. Then comes to attend to his calls and meetings and everything. In the evening again lives there only. So, and because he has started the company in say what you call town, smaller town, so many intelligent people from those nearby towns got benefited, and they are joining that company there, that branch. So it is such a nice thing because otherwise all of them will have to come all the way to Chennai or Bangalore or Hyderabad for vacations. For them to go all the way is such a huge anxiety. And even if they go, it's expense, and then they have to spend so much time on the traveling train and all that. This itself is a big anxiety. At least they are staying close by, then they can take care of the family and so on. Normal people,
who was this, Prabhuji?
Sridhar Vembu.
Which exam?
He's in Zoho, ZOHO. It's a very famous company now. Most new folks, they are all joining the next new generation because the work culture is really good as against the regular services companies, which work culture and the type of work that he does, and everything is really good. He employs those people who are really smart, and it's a very good thing, and very forward-looking person with a simple heart. I mean, he gives a lot of importance to the traditional way of living and saving the villages, our agriculture and all that stuff. So, very nice, simple-hearted person. And even some of them, like this Mahindra, they are all very favorable towards helping others and everybody, not just going and dumping all the money in the West, like that.
Anil Agarwal also, Prabhu, Vedanta. He is very much.
Yeah. Vedanta. And it's who else? One other CEO, I think it's the AMC. No. Piramal is, of course, we know. One young CEO from ANC, Indian Captive Center. He's a devotee of Jayapataka Maharaj. He's a disciple of Jayapataka. He's coming simply in dhoti kurta. He is a simple person to meet Jayapataka Maharaj in a big group. And somebody told me that he's a CEO of the India office, ANC. Krishna has given them presence. So, point is that we should never think like all those who have money are all just sense enjoyers, not like that. They will have to take some time. They may have to take the role to fulfill those partners or whoever he has. But in the heart of hearts, they are all devotees. So let's continue. Yes.
Anyone else wants to read?
Yes. Anyone wants to continue?
Yes, Prabhuji, can I?
No, please no continue.
He got at least 35 servants, and it is only the father and the son and the daughter-in-law. Tamal Krishna pointed out. That's all? Prabhupada said. No children even? They gave us so much attention. They are very favorable to us, especially the father. And his son Pranlal is also a nice boy. Yes, he is very intelligent. He knows what we are doing. His wife also, that young girl. Yes, very nice. They are actually a little aristocratic, I think. Oh, yes. When I was staying there, that young girl, the daughter-in-law, was always taking care. Swamiji, what do you want? What can I serve you? And Bogidal was coming daily to talk with me. Prandlal was offering any help that he could. Your secretaries were also treated very nicely. They gave us each a car. That was a wonderful stay. That was when Mrs. Nair surrendered at that house.
That was, yeah. So it has not yet happened, but they're just foretelling this, what's going to happen here. So it's a very nice point here. So the point here is, Prabhupada is actually appreciating all these things. But the real beauty here is that just because that so much opulent facility is there, Prabhupada did not stop there. It's just another place for him to stay, that's all. We have to move on with the service. So that is an amazing thing to really appreciate. Plus, Prabhupada had so much up by 73, 74, 75, Prabhupada was like well known everywhere. Books were going on, the movement was spreading like wildfire. So wherever he went, he was given a royal reception. But never he stayed for more than 2-3 days. That's the beauty. He could have decided that, okay, I'm getting some little more opulence here, let me stay. He never did that. That's an amazing level of renunciation. And let's read further.
When Prabhupada had arrived in Bombay, Mr. Vakil had contacted Mrs. Nair's solicitor, Mr. Shah, who had confirmed that she didn't want to sell us the land. She has someone to buy it for 20 lakhs or more, he said. But practically she can get any big amount for it. Still, he felt sure that if we were ready to pay 17 lakhs in cash right then, she would go for it. Just you're just trespassers, Shah stated. You have no claim to be on the land or to buy the land. The court case is coming up, and when it comes up, you will be thrown off the land. It would be better if you just paid the 17 lakhs now and finished up. Prabhupada was not happy with the proposal. He could see that the increase in price was the result of so many lawyers being involved, each wanting his cut. As he later explained, they were thinking, cancel the agreement and take 17 or 20 lakhs from him, and the balance would be divided amongst us.
So that is what they were all planning, and Prabhupada understood clearly what these people are thinking. Yes. Here is where a very important turning point is going to happen.
We'll have to new
Prabhu,
PDF, right?
I think we'll have to take the new PDF, Prabhu. Did Rakesh Prabhu give you?
I have it, Prabhu. If you want, I can share it right away.
Yes, please. From 201 page onwards.
I have it, Prabhuji. I'm sharing.
Somebody else can read.
Okay. Gaurav Prabhu is sharing.
Okay,
Somebody
it's already
else can
shared.
read, Prabhu.
Zoom it, Prabhu. Yes, thank you.
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Sorry?
Shall I read?
Yes.
We need to read from the next page, Prabhuji.
201, 201.
But 201 is not on the screen, Prabhu.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. 201. Yes.
Our tenant, Mrs. Warrior, had been visiting Mrs. Nair along with Mr. Asnani, the lawyer who was our life member and friend. And she had heard that Mrs. Nair was hard pressed for money. Mr. Nair had taken money from everybody and spent lavishly, she said. And his creditors were demanding payment. Selling the land.
See, this is what he has done. See, what this Nair had done while he is trying to cheat Prabhupada and our devotees, he also done something which is very foolish. In the same land, he sold it to different people. At different, he got advance from different people. And now that is where the whole thing comes up. Like he has sold it to us also, and he sold it to one more person also, and there also he got advance. And with us also he got advance. So when Prabhupada knew this, he knew this is going to be ending in a big problem. So that's when he said, you either give us back the money or I will pay it and you deal with that other person, give the land and close the deal. But this person doesn't want to give back the money also, and he wants to drive away our devotees also. That's why Prabhupada is very upset. And so now he died. So all the debts landed on Mrs. Nair. So now she needed somewhere that big bulk amount which she can use to give to the other persons. So let's continue further.
Selling the land to us would be mutually beneficial. He has told Mrs. Nair. You need money and they want the land. It is better just to finish up the deal. Otherwise, it will be fighting like this for years. Nobody is gaining anything. And if you give it to a temple, at least in your next birth, you will be benefited. What are you doing? Mr. Asnani had asked Mrs. Nair. What are you doing? Okay. Mrs. Nair, you have not, you are not getting any money, and you have not you are not enjoying the use of the land. Swamiji is very good. He will take care of all your many needs. But Mrs. Nair wasn't convinced. She claimed to have higher offers. They are offering 14. He had said offers. But another person is offering 25. What would you do with 25 lakhs and only one person? Mrs. Warrior had asked. How much?
So Warrior is a very empathetic towards our devotees, and she has been very much serving. And even now, she comes to the temple serving. Very nice. Yes, please continue.
How much money do you require to live in this world? You are the only person. You don't have any close relatives. Yes, that is true, Mrs. Nair had replied. But so much sickness is there, and I really want cash now. 14 then, Mrs. Warrior had countered. You can ask more, but don't expect 25. And everything in one installment. You don't.
And everything is one installment.
Everything in one installment. And if that is the only condition, don't worry. If you want tomorrow, they will give you money. So will you talk to them? Mrs. Nair had agreed, at least to meet with Prabhupada.
See, now she had played a very crucial role in arranging for the meeting now.
Yeah, somebody, page has to go up, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, agreed. Yes, Prabhupada said when he heard of Mrs. Nair's willingness to see him, bring her to me and I will speak to her. She is my daughter. That's so nice. Tell her, Prabhupada said that you are my daughter and I love you.
Someone who, see, this is what we should learn from Prabhupada.
Yeah.
So much nonsense her husband had done, but still he's so compassionate to them. And even she is also not so immediately changing. You know, her heart is still not fully changed, but still Prabhupada speaking words like this. This is what this real Acharya mean. No? Yes, Mother, continue.
Mrs. Warrior and Mr. Asnani conveyed his message to Mrs. Nair, and it was arranged that she would come and meet Prabhupada the following night. In the meantime, however, Mrs. Nair's solicitors were demanding an immediate response. We have to know today, they told us, to pay 17 lakhs and settle up, or we are going to drive you out. You tell us yes or no, otherwise it's all finished. So what to do? Prabhupada asked, but we didn't know what to say. Finally, he told us, okay, we will pay. Actually, I don't even want this. I don't even want this lunch. But because I have invited Radha and Krishna to come here, it will be a great insult if they are given away. And I could not bear that.
See how much this is Prabhupada speaking is hard for it's the whole reason behind why all the things we had to go through. Yes, Madam.
We were supposed to give our answer to the lawyer, Mr. Vakil, the following day. Prabhupada said that we should prepare a draft of a letter agreeing to take the land for the increased amount, show it to Mr. Vakil, and ask for his advice. But we should put some mistakes in the letter so that Mr. Vakil would have to ask us to make corrections. And then we would tell him that we had to take the letter back to retype it and would bring it back. That would at least give us one more way to maneuver.
This is real transcendental intelligence. Deliberately put some mistakes in there. It's like
somebody else want to
sorry, Mataji. Sorry, Mataji.
Does somebody else want to read?
Yeah, I will ask somebody. Anyone else want to read?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. So before you start, I just wanted to, I was really marveled at Prabhupada's transcendental intelligence here, you know. It's like Vyasadeva making difficult for Ganesh to understand by putting in tough words there, and then that meantime we can think. So these lawyers can be really, really cruel many times. They can be really cruel or cunning. You can't just depend on them. Like we can't go to those lawyers and think that they are doing good for us. They just want money and they mean business. So, Maharaj used to say that two people's doorsteps should never go. One is doctor and another is lawyer. And in between these two, the doctor is a little better, but the lawyer's house never even stepped. Because at least if you go to doctor's house, you will only spend money and come back, whichever way you are coming. But if you go to the lawyer's house, definitely you have to go to the doctor because you will have a heart attack because of them. Whatever the anxiety, they are going to keep increasing. Okay, please go ahead.
I was struck by how intelligent and diplomatic, how clever Prabhupada was. And while all of this was going on, he was holding programs and giving lectures practically every night. Bhogilal Patel.
So when we read these teachings of Kapila, and then the days where the lectures are given in Bombay, in the pandals or whatever recording they have during these days, you know, this time period, we should really marvel Prabhupada, because there will not be a tinge of that anxiety or all those complications that are going on in this whole thing will be there in the class. That will be completely transcendental. This is completely different. You never see Prabhupada getting fixed to this. Yes.
Bhogilal Patel and his son Pranlal had arranged a gathering of aristocratic people from Malabar Hill on the terrace of their home. But that evening, when Prabhupada was on the terrace about to lecture, he was told that Mrs. Nair had arrived, and he immediately went down to his room to see her, leaving us to continue the program without him. In his room, Prabhupada sent everyone out except Tamal Krishna, Shyam Sundar, Mr. Rasnani, Mrs. Warrior, and Mrs. Nair, and then closed the doors. Then he spoke to Mrs. Nair with a kind-hearted tenderness. "You are my daughter," he told her. "I will take all care of you." Mrs. Nair bowed down at his feet and burst into tears. "I am sorry," she implored. "Please forgive me. I didn't intend all these things to happen. Now I just want to give you the land and be peaceful again." Prabhupada touched her head gently. "Don't worry," he consoled her. "I will see to all of your need and the rest of your life." If she surrendered to him, he was telling her he would give her all protection. It was an important lesson for me too, that anyone who surrendered to Prabhupada would be completely protected by him. Hearing of this exchange, I asked myself, why am I hesitating? This woman is just surrendering to him now, and Prabhupada is giving her complete protection, while I have been hanging around in the movement for years and have never really surrendered. It was a good lesson.
It's a good lesson. Amazing. Huh? This particular paragraph can be read again and again. This is the real beautiful realization from Maharaj.
And Prabhuji, just wanted to share, I mean, whatever the thing, Matre thing, and that happened when Mr. Nair had gone. And this is Mrs. Nair and Matre had planned so many things, right?
Yeah, yeah, like all the things happening in the temple complex and the breaking the devotees, the shelter and all that. So this Matre is a real snake. Yeah.
But somebody doing so bad, and Prabhupada is so compassionate. I mean, it's really touching, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you can see how he can be Narsingadev one time, but he can be really so soft on the other hand. Right? I was so moved when I read this. Yes, Mataji.
No, I mean, you can go ahead and then I will ask the question.
No, I just said I was really moved with this, especially this exchange. This is like the best part of this entire episode. Sorry, this entire pastime of this Guru Temple thing, where in spite of all the things they have done, he gives them complete protection. And this we have to learn. It's a lesson to learn. It need not be that we have to be spiritual masters to really follow this, or some kind of a gurus or whatever to follow this thing. In our own limited environments or whatever influential the circle of people that we have, we should have this mood always. That is when we can be peaceful. More than others, so we can be peaceful and happy only with this mood. Because the most important thing for a Vaishnava is to give protection to others from their fearfulness. Everybody is afraid of death. Everybody is afraid and anxious of all the sufferings and everything. So Vaishnava does alleviate the sufferings in two ways. One is by himself being gentle towards them, gentle, loving, and caring towards them. And the second way is by teaching them that this world is temporary. And remember that one day we all have to go, so don't be harmful. Try to reduce the level of envy and agitations to the best of their ability, so that others also will not suffer because of you. You will not miss one. Yasman no udvijate loko, lokan no udvijate chaya. Prabhupada personifies that verse. Harsha, Marsha, Bhayo, Vega, Muktoya, Sachanya. It's completely free of this Harsha, Marsha, Bhaya, Udvega, and all that. Yes, Mataji, you were going to say something.
Yeah, Prabhuji, this Maharaj is saying here, I have never really surrendered. Is it out of humility, or I mean, they were already surrendered, right?
Yeah, a humble person always says that way, right? I just read a quote today of Radhanath Maharaj. Somewhere some status came up, and I said, if you think you know nothing, you may be knowing something. But if you think you know something, then you don't know anything. It is what it is. We don't really always say that, or think that we are sincere, we are humble, we are supposed to be. These are all lessons for us. That and when they speak like that, for that matter, Bhakti Thakur also, he seems so lowly about himself in the Jai Gopinath, Hamad Nivedana. Prahlad Maharaj also says so many things about himself. That I ran around with all the senses and everything. Right? They don't mean it actually. They mean it. It is not that they are that way. In their heart, they think like that. They don't act that way. In the heart, they don't think. I mean, in the heart, they are not acting. They are genuinely thinking like that. But Prabhupada, but Krishna knows that they don't have all those qualities. They just genuinely they are just feeling it. That's it. Generally, feeling is very difficult. Verbally, I can say, and I'm not at all sincere. I'm not at all all those stuff. Same. But genuinely, it is so easy. Yes, who was ready?
I was reading, Prabhu.
Yes.
Should I continue?
Yes. Yeah.
Prabhupada told Mrs. Nair that he still accepted the terms she had proposed, that he pay the balance of 12 lakhs for a total of 14 plus an extra 50,000 rupees as compensation for the delay, and she agreed. Prabhupada was fully prepared. He had already had Tamal Krishna type up a draft of new settlement, and as soon as Mrs. Nair agreed, he pulled it out. He told Mr. Asnani to go over the terms of the conveyance with Mrs. Nair and make whatever changes they saw fit right then and there. While the new agreement was being typed up, Prabhupada went back up to the roof and delivered a beautiful lecture. When he was
Imagine what he is doing. It's like in between lecture, actually, this is happening. He had just, just the lecture was going on. He heard that these people are coming, and he stopped the lecture right there, came down, had these few people to get this thing sorted out, and then goes back to give continue the lecture there. I don't know which word he is coming from. Amazing, huh? So let's here again after the lecture he goes down. See, this is what we are so fortunate that we are having the glimpses of a pure devotee in Prabhupada. It's like on one side is like how Krishna is, one side he is just killing the demons, and other side he is just playing with the gopas and gopis. Both things happening at the same time, no? So it's like amazing. Yes, Prabhu, please continue.
When he was done, he rose from his seat and went back downstairs. And he and Mrs. Nair signed the document with November 1 as a tentative deadline for signing the final conveyance.
See, now
next step was,
this is something which we have to really appreciate of Prabhupada. That even if we do certain activities without wasting time, we won't be able to do multitasking like this. You understand? The mood in one activity will spill over into the other activity. But here, as you can see, Prabhupada never mixed the two things. One side is giving a lecture, one side is doing this other thing going on. But there's no, the mood of one going into the other or the other way around. That's the beauty here. And that you have to learn. No one else easily can do that. It's not that easy to do so many things going on. And this is not the only temple that Prabhupada is worried about. He has so many other things to worry about. But still the lectures are so transcendental. That's why it's amazing. Many times we tend to be, when we are giving lectures, we don't really do so much of this administration and everything going on. I can consider some of our, many of Prabhupada's disciples, sannyasis doing that. Also some like, you take someone like Gauranga Prabhupada who is both into administration as well as Radhesham Prabhupada, both into administration activities also, management activities also, and they are giving preaching also. And you can see, I'm sure most of you would have watched Param Prabhu's interview in the Times of India.
Yes,
I mean, I
Prabhu.
was amazed by that 15 minutes of that interview. The thing is, because he appreciated VHP, he also brought in ISKCON's contribution to the world. And they asked about the incomplete temple being inaugurated, etc., etc. Man, if they come to know of ISKCON temples, how and all we have done, they will go crazy. Our temples, the Sydney temple was built on a burial ground. What Vastu we are talking about? The Radha Gopinath is standing there for the last 50 years. It's a cremate. What do you call that as the funeral ground? Right? And so many temples like churches which are closed are like completely abandoned. All those places, and Prabhupada just use them. Now also you see many of these Los Angeles temple, Dallas temple, then rather they so many temples, just to name a few. He just took forward from them. On the one side, Muslims and Christians are coming to break the temples or build new churches or whatever. And Prabhupada goes there and converts the churches into temples. It's called reverse engineering, you call it, We need to do more of it. It's not enough. Because the speed with which the other parties are growing up is too much. And more self-emphasis. Yes. But it can be done only through purity. We cannot just do simply by management. So that's what I was thinking, that when Gauranga Prabhu was speaking, he was perfectly aligning everything. In 16 minutes, it was complete. There is every questions were answered to its fullest. Like that, there are some few gems or stalwarts in our movement, definitely, who can balance everything so perfectly. Let's go for that.
The next step was tricky. Since we couldn't inform Mrs. Nair's lawyer that our lawyers or any of the lawyers serving as go-betweens, they were being cut out of the transaction and would try to.
So if they were inside, so much more commissions had to be given. So Prabhupada directly dealing with Mrs. Nair. Yes.
And Prabhupada was not going to leave Bombay. Twice he had made the mistake of trying to let us. Twice he had made the mistake of trying to let us do the conveyance, Tamal Krishna recounted, and both times we were unable. This time he did everything himself. The next day, sitting on his asana behind his low table, Srila Prabhupada was talking with Gargamuni and Achyutananda, awaiting the arrival of our American bank manager. He was touching on same themes, warning his disciple of the dangers of working hard simply to get money and enjoy the senses, and explaining our mission, why we were collecting, how to avoid criticism. Our mission, he said, is to teach that you are simply wasting your time. Take to Krishna consciousness. This is our only business. And the next business is that those who cannot directly take to the process should help this movement. Therefore, we go door to door to connect them with this movement. Life member. People are misunderstanding. They have no other good business. Transcendental fraud, giving us some book and taking money and eating and sleeping. They are thinking like that. So we should preach strongly, and they should know that we also preach. Tamal Krishna said. Yes, they should know that it is for their benefit. We are making them life members, not for our benefit, and that should be the motive. Somebody else want to read, Prabhuji?
Yeah. Who else wants to take over?
I'll read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Gaurang, don't make noise, okay? We
Oh,
should deal
Sharda
with
Mataji. Okay. I didn't see you.
No problem, Prabhu. I didn't come on camera.
Oh,
we should deal with them so that they may develop their Krishna consciousness. If you simply make it a point, some or other, take some money from them and let them go to hell. That is not. Yeah. That is transcendental fraud. What do you think, Gargamuni?
See,
yes, Gargamuni.
This is very important. You should deal with them so that they may develop their Krishna consciousness. So the whole idea here is that this is where Prabhupada is really hitting the point. That don't just get money from them, make life members, and there's nothing between you and me anymore. That doesn't work really, you know. So it's important to take care of them. That life member means they become member for life. So then we have to deal with them for the whole life of their life, till they are alive or till we are alive. We have to be taking care of them. And Gargamuni Prabhupada used to call him as Gargamani, you know, sometimes, because he is very good at making members and doing fund collection. So Prabhupada used to call him. So he's specifically telling this thing because he's good at money collection. He's asking him this question. Yes, please continue, Mataji.
Yes, Gargamuni replied, we have to preach. Yes, Prabhupada continued, if by the dress of a sannyasi you take some money and eat and sleep, then it is transcendental fraud. Just like others are toiling, we are getting money by seamstress. That's all. They are getting money by laboring hard, and we are getting money. In India, mostly the sannyasis do that. The priests also do that. This is our profession. My Guru Maharaj said that instead of earning livelihood by showing the deity in the temple, it is better to take the profession of a sweeper in the street and live honestly. He said like that. The sweeper is working hard, toiling, and getting some money and living. This is honest.
This is amazing. Oh, this particular paragraph shows what steel Prabhupada is made of and Prabhupada's Guru Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is made of. That's why he said that when we have all these opulent temples and all, or land and other things that people are giving, the next step is Kali Yuga enters in. You know, there is all these fights and quarrels and diplomatic dealings and all these things come into play. People start, you know, that's why whatever opulence people are giving should be offered to Krishna. And for us, it is only Yavadartha. Yavadartha means as much as it is needed. That's all. Because the moment we start spending little more time than necessary, then we start thinking it is fine. So we should be always on the move. Prabhupada used to say this beautiful example. He was walking by. I think this is in Prabhupada says this Srutagiti Prabhu's one of the remembrance, I think. Prabhupada is walking by in a street, in a park or somewhere, and then from the tree, the shade was there, and then there were some bird droppings in the ground. So Prabhupada pointed with his cane to that bird droppings and asked, "What does this imply to you?" To the other disciples who are walking around Prabhupada. They couldn't say anything. They were thinking, what is it Prabhupada is speaking and all that. That's why showing birds tool. What is it that we are birds droppings? What is it trying to teach us? So then Prabhupada, after some time of silence from the others, he said, it shows that even the birds are attached to their branches and trees. That's why you can see so many more droppings here. The more droppings here means the more they are sitting here. And so the more they are sitting here means they're more attached to that particular tree. So it's an amazing thing, you know, he says this point so nicely. This is how transcendentally he can look into this world. A devotee's perception of the world is totally different from a others a non-devotee's perception, you know. So
I can remember our Guru Maharaj also, Prabhuji. When Maharaj was not well, he said, "I'll renounce. What is the use of wearing this orange dress, sannyasi dress?
So
I'm going to go. I'm going to wear the white dress for if I'm not able to go.
I'm going to send a letter to the GBC that I don't want. I'm renouncing the sannyasa. So that's because he had that stroke that time. So then when devotees asked him, Maharaj, why did you do? Why do you have to do that? You are the most renounced person we can at this age that too. Why do you want to do? If I took this ideas are not just for other and respect. It is for me to go preach the Krishna consciousness around the world. So if not that so as a say that I just normal person, facilities, I'm not doing the service.
Your voice is breaking.
Sorry, my voice is breaking.
At least I can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're breaking.
voice is breaking.
Is it better now?
No problem.
It's breaking, Prabhuji.
No, still not better.
No problem.
It's offline now.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, now it's better, Prabhu.
I was telling that Maharaj, he desired to give up his sannyas also just because he was not able to fulfill the services that one is supposed to do as a sannyasi. That he said, I took this sannyas because I wanted to go around the world and preach to every nook and corner. If I'm not able to do that, what's the point? Why should I just show off as a sannyasi? So Maharaj was, that's when our Devguru said that we never realized that one can renounce the renounced order also until we came to know of this thing from Maharaj. I mean, this mode of renouncing the renounced order also. This is an amazing point of understanding. Even we will get attached to our renounced order also because we get so much respect, so much attention. And they give a nice chair for you, they'll give a mic and they'll speak, and then people will appreciate you. So it is something which can be misused. That's why Maharaj was he had a very different view of the sannyasis. He even said one more thing that really a real sannyasi is not one. He didn't say that way. He said that real in this renounced order, we may hanker for devotee association and everything, but ideally speaking, we should not be making a big announcement about you are leaving the body and all those things. You should leave. In fact, he said, if at all there is one lesson that Dhritarashtra teaches us, he doesn't have anything big to teach us, but then the one lesson that he taught us is when he left without speaking and saying anything to Yudhishthira Maharaj. But quietly, silently, he left the kingdom to leave his body. So that's something which maybe it's people will get to know of it. Like Parikshit Maharaj, when he was leaving, everybody got to know of it. He didn't make a big announcement, all of them to come over. Bhishma Dev didn't make an announcement, all of them to come over. But Krishna will arrange for those things to happen. But we should not be in the mood of, okay, when I'm leaving, everybody should be following me. And that's, again, attachment here, self-gratification also. Thank you, Mataji, for bringing that up. Okay, so let's go further. Few more minutes.
Just then, the bank manager arrived, accompanied by an Indian lady, Banu, who worked under him. The manager was being called back to America, and he wanted Banu to help us in his absence. After some preliminary discussion of spiritual life, Banu told Prabhupada that
Banu is Banu Swami.
I was thinking, Banu Swami Maharaj told Prabhupada that people might find Juhu far away and hard to reach. In Juru, there are many people. Prabhupada stated, Juhu people are not coming here, and people here will not go there. Any part of Bombay is itself a big city. But where we will get such big land in the city? Our property is 20,000 square yards, and by the Juhu beach. For this facility, yes, and a new town is growing there.
See, what Prabhupada said here has come true. That Juhu at that time was like a fisherman's cove. No one else was living there except for one or two people who had some bungalows there to come for a rest. So that's why Banu Maharaj at that point is saying that we have to bring people from all the way from city to here. Now you see, when I went to Juhu recently, there is airport is just 6 kilometers from there. And then not an inch is available. They have every inch of space occupied completely. And then the metro is coming there. There is a Juhu stop that will come very soon. When you get to the metro, from metro, it's just about a kilometer, maximum 1 kilometer walk. Earlier, it used to be like whatever it is. So the thing is, ultimately, at the end of the day, the more devotional service we do, the more we will be utilized by Krishna in bringing, in helping others. So the temple, though it was built 50 years ago, what is 50 years or whatever, 50 years ago, it has continued to stay on with the mercy of so many devotees who have been serving since quite some time, so long. And now all the celebrities, even in Janmashtami day, all the celebrities have to be in Juhu temple. They don't go anywhere else, isn't it? Go over whatever is the big names you want to call, they're all there. And Hema Malini herself is a disciple. And so many others are very much taking, because there is the purity of Prabhupada, that the devotion is there. The sincere devotion is manifesting in the form of such nice kirtan, glorification of Krishna. It is manifesting in the form of all these crowds. You can't enter into the temple on festival days. Or to speak of this temple, Meera Road temple. I was there just now, recently, again the same trip. And they were saying that about 900 to 1,000 families are there just in that Meera Road temple area only. 900 to 1,000 families. So the devotees staying just 5 minutes walk from the temple, they say that on Janmashtami day, we can't even enter into the temple. We just stand by the step. It's a huge temple now, as compared to how it was some years ago. They just stand from far and see the deity, darshan, and go away. That's all. And so they make this announcement only that devotees, please don't come to the temple. Stay at home for Janmashtami, do whatever thing you want in home. But all the visitors have to come, so please give them space. In Pune temple also, they make this announcement. Isn't it, Mataji, Chitra Mataji? They make this announcement in the temple that only those who have service, please come. You don't just come as a visitor and be this. Visitors have to be. This is after building the huge temple, right? Not just a small temple.
This is the Radha Gopinath temple, Prabhu. The Meera Road temple is the Radha Gopinath temple, is it?
Radha Giridhari. That's where Maharaj, that is very close to Bhaktivedanta Hospital, where Maharaj left his body. Radha Gopinath is Chowpatty, is the other end of the city. So there, normal days also they say don't come. Forget about Janmashtami.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. Radhanath Maharaj.
Yeah, and Govardhan Eco Village, my God, it used to be quite, like less people used to be there because it was surrounded by only villages, it's no man's land. But now minimum 12 to 15,000 visitors come on weekends. 12 to 15,000 minimum.
We don't get the stay over there at all.
You don't get stay over there. It's like they've increased the prices and everything, but still people are willing to pay anything you want. We are paying, but you want to come? No, please don't come. Amazing it is. So much crowded, it is thronging like anything. That's what Prabhupada said has come true, because as Prabhupada says, each area, any part of Bombay itself is a big city. Now, Chowpatty is a big city. Kargar is a big city. Kargar is even huge, even bigger than all the temples. It should be the second biggest after TOVP once it comes up. Then, sorry, Mataji. You were saying something?
Big? I mean, no.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's huge, it is. And it's one of the most expensive one there in Navi Mumbai. And then Chowpatty, Juhu. Then you have so many centers around. Thane is coming up. I heard from Harshagovind Prabhu that in February the temple opening is there. I saw them beautifully built structure it is. Everywhere they are giving land and that they are being utilized in the right way. So in Delhi, 18 temples are there. Built from scratch, not bought or rented. Built from scratch. Proper traditional temples. Pune also, so many is coming up, no? Yeah. And Bangalore also so many. We never imagined that in one city we will have more than one ISKCON temple. Those days we thought one city means one temple. But now city is growing, so temples are also growing. Yeah, such a beautiful point here. Prabhupada is really sharing the vision, why he is so much insisting on this. As temples are the main epicenter of preaching. If there is no temple, it will be very difficult to bring people together on a common place. Once a temple or some center preaching, some kind of a center is there, then things grow very fast. Vishal Nagar, for example, they just got this place just 2-3 years ago, if I'm not wrong, 2 years ago only. And now you see so many people are thronging there and they are getting so much attention there. Just continue.
In Juhu, there are many people, Prabhupada stated. Juhu people are not coming here. This we read. No?
In this next paragraph.
Next, Prabhupada asked the bank manager if he had been to Juhu, and the man replied that he used to live there, in a large, white, 6-story building on the beach, which Prabhupada passed on his morning walks. How do you like that place, Juhu? Prabhupada asked. Very much, the manager said. Quite peaceful. After a day of work at the bank, it's a nice place to retreat to. I take the train. It's 33 minutes by train between Churchgate and Juhu. So where is the difficulty? Prabhupada turned to ask his disciples. Such a responsible officer, bank manager, coming and going, and you sannyasis cannot come and go? He has got responsible duties. He has to arrive in the office exactly on time.
Prabhupada is really amazing. You cannot just play with Prabhupada's argument.
Yeah.
Next page.
Prabhupada asked the manager if other bank officers might be living in Juhu, and he replied that National and Grindlay's bank officers were there, and that several British companies had offices there as well. Soon thereafter, we all left the Shivner flat for Juhu. Prabhupada moved into Mr. Sethi's house, which was still under construction in the Juhu scheme. It was spacious and well built, just not completely finished. The marble was unpolished, and the temporary lighting was dim, and Mr. Sethi and his family had not yet moved in. Prabhupada could receive visitors there, and at his direction, I arranged a meeting with Mr. Shantilal Mehta, the shrewd, seasoned businessman who, with his son, ran Chagan Lal and brothers, which had a claim on the Juhu land. An elderly Jain, the older Mr. Mehta, came dressed in a traditional white Indian suit, western cap. Prabhupada remained seated on his asana. Almost immediately after entering, as if to catch Prabhupada off guard, Mr. Mehta said, I understand you are in negotiations with Mrs. Nair. So who will take the land, you or me?
So this is, you understand, no? This Mehta is another party who has given money to Nair.
Nair, yeah.
So now he is coming to meet Prabhupada after hearing that Prabhupada is having a bigger thing. So the point here is he's a businessman. So he's trying to negotiate with Prabhupada that if you have to take the land, you have to give this money to me. Whatever I owe. So these are all sins are not over. You see how the problem keeps lingering on. Now he settled first Nair dead, then that problem happened with them breaking the roof and everything. Then Sethi helped. Then Nair, then that warrior helped. This Nair came, Mrs. Nair. When Mrs. Nair's thing is settled up, now the solicitors are out of the picture. Now this Mehta is coming.
Okay.
It's like 10th canto only, one after another demons are coming. And Krishna, Krishna kills one demon, another demon, the next chapter, another demon, next chapter. Like that, keep on getting demons one after another. And Prabhupada is like Krishna, looking straight into his face, see what he's going to say.
Prabhupada sat up straight, looked him in the eye, and said, I will. Well, what about my claim? Mehta objected. My claim is for 6 lakhs, a hugely inflated figure. My claim is for 12 lakhs. Prabhupada countered. If Mehta wanted the land, he would have to pay Prabhupada 12 lakhs to withdraw. Mr. Mehta could see that he was up against a smart, tough fighter, not just some simply elderly sadhu. His eyes opened wider, and his whole demeanor seemed to change to become humbler and more respectful. Yeah, can you? Okay. Yeah. Prabhupada began preaching to him. We will use the land for a good cause. We will make a temple. Mr. Mehta agreed to a meeting with Prabhupada and Mrs. Nair to negotiate how much she would have to pay him to get him to withdraw his claim. According to the sales agreement, Prabhupada could hold back the majority of his payments until Changanlal withdrew its claim in the High Court. Satisfied with the arrangement, shall I move on, Prabhu? Yeah. Satisfied with the arrangement, Mr. Mehta offered his respects to Prabhupada and left the room. As I escorted him down the stairs to his car, he kept shaking his head and saying, "Your Guru Maharaja is Paka. He's a real Guru Maharaja. He's Paka."
Okay, stop here. Because it's just, I mean, it's just so absorbing, you know. All these people, when they interact with Prabhupada, come in contact with Prabhupada, they see the different modes of Prabhupada according to, like, ye tam prapadyate tam sadaya bhajame, you see. They come according to them, they are getting the hit. When they come, like the Mrs. Nair comes in a very humble mood, then he is saying, "You are my daughter, I'll protect you," and all that. When this person, this lawyers and all come, they say, "I will take claim, you don't have any claim." And then he makes him come down. Amazing Prabhupada. So that's why I said, you know, like, you have to really relish Prabhupada, this every bit of his the thing that he's teaching us. Otherwise, actually speaking, one side of it is actually Prabhupada invited Radharas Bihari and he made a promise. That's fine. But as a pure devotee, he could have told very simply to Radharas Bihari that I'm extremely sorry. I'm not able to fulfill the promise to you, but I have a better place for you. Please come and stay there. He has done that in a few places. In London, in Bury Place, when initially that's where they were staying, number 7 Bury Place. The neighborhood was a very envious lady. And even though the devotees were not making any noise, frequently they are coming and going into their house, the neighborhood, they went and complained to the court, in the court. So at that time, Prabhupada said, you know, let's just move out from here. And devotees said, we didn't do anything wrong, Prabhupada. No, Krishna has a better plan for us. And that's when Vainer happened, Soho happened, and all these other things came up. So according to the situation, we'll see that Prabhupada is teaching us different lessons. But while he could have done the same thing in Rasbihari also, he took the tough stand that, no, I will not let anybody come in the way of me and Krishna. Thing. Now, apart from that, actually speaking, this is one side of seeing this whole episode. But the other side, which I see, there is one other person who is acting in this whole deal. Who is that? Very important person is playing his role here. Krishna himself. Forgot.
He doesn't want to
without
move
his
from
sanction. Sorry, Mataji.
He doesn't want to move from there.
No, he doesn't. First is he doesn't want to move from there. Second thing is he's bringing all these characters into the pastime. He is bringing Pralambasura, Shakatasura, and there's Mitrasura, and sorry, not Asura, that Vatsasura, and all those people into his pastimes. He's bringing all these characters to glorify his pure devotee even more. He wants to glorify Prabhupada even more by bringing these characters. Otherwise, he could have finished everything even earlier. You understand how there's a, maybe we forget Krishna's hands in all these things. While we are seeing Prabhupada's hand, I mean, his desires and his actions and everything. One side, as a pure devotee, he is showing his face, how he is working. But on the other side, you see that all these characters, how they are coming and getting bitten by Prabhupada and going back. He is giving hard slap on their face every time they come. And whenever they are trying to be too smart, he adjusts accordingly and he goes through like a river. So eventually, it's Krishna's pastime to glorify his pure devotee Prabhupada. This entire thing. And now, and that also through another his devotee to write this on top of about all these things so intricately. How much Maharaj must have been remembering after 50 years to write this entire book. I'm saying, I mean, this book is worth to pay whatever you want, you can pay to get this, to appreciate the glories of a pure devotee. So,
Prabhuji, even in this Radha Landaneshwara temple also, that episode also, if you see, Prabhupada went ahead and announced that
the
DT installation also, Prabhupada had announced the DT is not there. No DT. But Prabhupada asked everybody to...
DTs are half-dressed actually.
No,
when they close. No, you are talking about the DTs are not there. Yes, then
DTs didn't even come.
Yeah, they did
Then
come.
one Indian who are not from ISKCON, they bought and they wanted to install the businessman. They wanted to install the DT.
They didn't want it in their home.
They want in their community or in their home.
They just wanted Prabhupada to come and bless them. But Prabhupada had different plans.
Yeah, so no, actually, what I heard from here is Prabhupada. So the no DTs, but Landaneshwara temple installation, everything announcement is gone. So all the sannyasis are worried. No DTs are there, and what installation? What is Prabhupada telling us to do? So Prabhupada will say, don't worry, Radha Krishna will come here. They will appear. So just very few days before that date, they understood that there is a businessman from India who has brought the DTs. And the DT had the finger of the DT is slightly broken.
Krishna's finger is half broken.
Yeah, Radharani, Krishna's, okay. And then Prabhupada said, okay, let's go. Are you sure that they want to give? Prabhupada said, it seems, and let's go. They all went in such a big vehicle, ready to carry the DTS and come. So Prabhupada went there, and Prabhupada is talking with those other people. And that person is saying, come, I'll show you the DT. Prabhupada is saying, how are you? How's your business going on? Everything. That sannyasis are not understanding anything. We want the DT, at least we want to see the DT, if they'll fit the temple. Is this correct, or are we coming in the right place? They are not able to tell anything to Prabhupada. But Prabhupada is saying, no. And Prabhupada is talking for 1 hour, not about Radha Krishna at all, it seems there. And they were telling, we want, he's saying, those people are inviting Prabhupada. Please come and see the DTs. Prabhupada is not going. At the last, Prabhupada went. And when he saw the DTs, that time also no reaction. He didn't, do dandavats, nothing. He just told those two sannyasis, I forgot the name, I'll check and tell you.
Tamal
Krishna, just carry them. Then
just see how heavy they are. Just see how heavy they are.
So they carried and they said, actually they were heavy, but they said, yeah, Prabhu.
It's not that heavy, Prabhupada.
It's not that heavy, Prabhupada. Then he said, then straight Prabhupada left off, it seems like, no.
Let's just see how.
Prabhupada just left off. And then only when he went to the temple, then he made dandavats to Prabhupada. So here, I was also, first time when I heard, I was thinking, no DTs at all. That too sitting in London. At least in India means you can go some market, you can go and buy it. Sitting in London and now Prabhupada. So it's actually what you said is right.
That's a level of confidence that Prabhupada had in Krishna. And Krishna also, this is the DTs. Radha Landaneshwara. I had the good fortune of serving them, not personally, but Sudarshana had done service. But I was there for a few days serving in other ways, cooking and all that. So most beautiful deities you can ever see. Most beautiful deities. I don't know how. Yes, Mother. Sorry, Mother, your voice. That was fixed.
Broken.
Little bit only. Prabhupada fixed it. I mean, the devotees fixed it.
And Prabhupada told to keep it a secret, it seems. He said, don't tell anybody now about all this broken thing.
Yeah, normally they have those things, no, that Vigna, that whatever it is there, then you should not be doing. But Prabhupada is not on those rules and others not for him.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Nice. Thank you.
Krishna's thing we are picking fully.
He was telling,
Krishna.
please wait. Then they just put into the van and they drove the Prabhupada said, just take the, don't even say bye and just take. And then he said bye and then they turned around the corner and then Prabhupada stopped and then he told them just open and then he paid obeisances to them and then saw everything fit very nicely and then he took the deities. Literally stealing deities from the house.
They were saying the kidnap, we really kidnapped.
Literally kidnapped deities there.
Kidnapped Radha. So that's what Prabhupada's mood was different, no? Like even in that serious time, he was simply talking. Then somebody asked that question. Then Prabhupada told, "No, if we show too much interest to the deities, this man might change." And that person was saying, and that person was saying, it seems, we will come and deliver. You don't. When they were running, no, we want to come and give you. No, Prabhupada just kidnapped. That's all he ran.
You see Krishna, just take him and go. That's all. Don't even ask.
So, thank you, Prabhu. Krishna.
Yes, just want to add one point here related to this. I mean, regarding the legal fights, when Prabhupada was in Jhansi, that Bharti Vidya Bhavan was there, right? So when this Munshi and Mrs. Munshi was there, I think she was the governor's wife, and then she took that everything, and Prabhupada had plans and he had the DT. I think we read it before in the previous book. So that time also Prabhupada had, I mean, everything he had written in a diary, and he had every proofs that he can prove that that Bharti Vidya Bhavan belongs to him, and many of his friends implored him to fight a legal fight. There also he said, no, I'll not do it. So he knew that Krishna had some different plans that time. So
he knows when to do what, because Krishna is directly driving him, right? Krishna, I mean, directing him. So he knows how Krishna's direction is. Many times we have experienced this with Mahavishnu Maharaj. Maharaj will also go, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. We will say, yes, we should go and see this person of the land. Then we will say, no, what is the point in going? We don't want to. Then again, you will after 1 hour say yes. Like this, it will keep going on back and forth, back and forth. And then he will say, okay, let's leave it to Krishna. Let's see what, we'll see whatever comes up. Then in the morning again, the yes will turn to no. And then we will say, all night I was waiting for the direction from Krishna. So Krishna gives this message, so let's follow this. We will not want to do anything that Krishna does not want, and we want only to do things that Krishna wants. So there are times when Maharaj used to tell, let's take the van, the driver will be sitting, the devotee will be sitting in the van, in the car, and Maharaj will be out of the doorstep, holding the hand, we just get into the car, and suddenly he will just look and he'll say, no, I don't think we should go. This is not, Krishna doesn't need this. No, just come back. So many times it has happened like that.
Okay.
Very interesting things have happened. So pure devotees, they always have that. That is why they always ask this question, like, what does your super soul say? My Guru Maharaj always will ask us, what does your super soul say? And the way to hear super soul's voice is to be more sincere in our desire and service, more unmotivated and pure in our desire and services, Then naturally we will get the message from Krishna. And because we don't have that, this an eagerness to the eagerness to help the suffering souls come out of the suffering is less. The eagerness to achieve popularity and name and fame is more. That which we have not achieved in our maintenance, in our personal lives, we want to achieve it in our devotional life. And that is where the satisfaction doesn't come. And this is where I think there should be a big a leap of faith. We have to cross over the hump, they call it, the camel's hump. To cross this, and that's when we will really be able to enjoy the nectar of pure devotion. And they have all these saints and sages and pure acharyas, they have come in order to show that, yes, you can do it in this life. And even now, many devotees are doing that. Unknown to us, they are doing it. They are doing such nice, simple service. There's one devotee, I mean, it just has come to my mind, Parashuram Prabhu in London, Soho Street Temple. He sells both sofa and manner. But every single day he goes with the loads of prasadam and serves all the like the vedas and the whatever the urchins or whoever is in the streets. And even the coldest days he goes, all the gloves and caps and everything. And many such devotees in Russia, Ukraine, Croatia, whatever, all these places, war-prone areas, everywhere there are devotees doing. We normally are more attracted to those who are like in the YouTubes or Facebooks or so. We get those visibilities. That's the only thing we have access to. There are many of them who do silent service. We have to be really praying to them for their success also and be inspired by their services. So nice. Thank you so much. So yeah, Piyush Prabhu is saying something. Srimati Rukmini Maharani was kidnapped by Krishna, Dwarkadish. So pastor pure devotee Srila Prabhupada kidnapped both Radharani and Sri Krishna. So a pure devotee by the grace of Sri Krishna can do the impossible possible. Amazing, Piyush Prabhu. This is the best way to end today's discussion, I would say, remembering this, Prabhupada always says devotees are greater than Krishna. No, Krishna can kidnap only one person. Prabhupada can kidnap both of them. Amazing realization, Prabhu. You should put this in the group. Thank you so much. We should stop here. Really a wonderful discussion. We had time, 1.5 hours. It didn't feel like it was. It just went off like a breeze. And more nectar coming up. So we will see this thing till this fight is over. It will be really nice. And after that also, let's continue. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Yes, Prabhuji.
What page we are stopping?
Sorry?
Which page we are stopping?
Oh, what page, Prabhu? 200 and? Gaurav Prabhu.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu. 200 and
But your Guru Maharaj is Paka.
Pakka, your Guru Maharaj is Pakka.
starting from 206, Prabhuji. 206.
Can we get the PDF, new PDF now? Can you share?
20 pages now.
I'll share that in group, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.